My guest today is Chris Capuno. He's an entrepreneur and author of No Ceiling, No Excuses: How to Stop Stalling Your Dreams and Start Building Your Life. Chris went from a busboy to a union staff fitter to building a company that processed over $1 billion. And his book is a blueprint for anyone ready to stop settling and start building. So, we're going to talk about mindset, momentum, and extract systems to turn your dream into a plan. Now, I am so excited, Chris, to have you on the show. Welcome to our show. And I'd love for you just to take a moment to say hello to everybody and, let them know a little about you and, some of the important turning points in your life that have made a difference.
Yeah, and from one Long Islander to another, thank you for having me on, Stacy. I like
Very
it. Nice to hear someone pronounce stalling the right way. You go stalling, it's I love that. How to stop stalling your life. That's right. We don't go to the mall. We go to the mall, right? We drink coffee. That's it. We drink orange juice, not orange juice, So we say things the right way in Long Island. So being born and raised here is, honestly, nothing short of a dream. I mean, we have oceans that surround us here. We have New York City just, less than an hour away. But there are bad things that happen to all of us, and I discuss a lot of that in my book. The first third talks about, my life growing up with, a rough childhood, definitely not the kind of the opposite of what you picture a normal childhood being, including a lot of cops and, substance abuse and, family issues, divorce, death, the whole nine. Second part of the book kind of talks about all the different jobs I've had throughout my life as a 35-year-old, I've done honestly everything from being a busboy to a waiter to a teacher's assistant to an eBayer to a drop shipper to a power washer to a snow removal company to a everything to where I am now, which is where I kind of started my own company from the ground up. So I do merchant services, point of sale systems, made it my mission to help small businesses succeed. I help them take payments. I help them grow their businesses. I help them streamline operations. I help them get set up with gift cards, customer loyalty programs, online ordering, the whole nine. So that's kind of where I'm at. I went from a union steam fitter, like you said earlier. I was making over 100 grand a year. I had benefits and I had a vacation fund. I had a pension, and I walked away from all of that about 4 years ago. And my only regret is just not doing it sooner. I mean, honestly, I love having a team behind me, and hiring employees and helping other people succeed is great. And if any of your listeners own a small business and they want help, maybe reducing some of their costs or taking payments or getting set up with a point of sale system, let me know, because I'm one of the only people in the tri-state area that actually gives 100% free point of sale systems to businesses. So if anyone wants to reach out to me, you can go to my website. You could also pick up my book there. It's www.noceilingnoexcuses.com. And thank you again for having me on.
Ah, you're very welcome. It's amazing. Now, what exact moment did you realize you were done playing small and you were ready to build?
Done playing small. I could listen to the accent all day. I love it, man. I feel like I'm home. Um, yeah, so I mean, look, it's one of those things that I felt stuck. I felt like I was in the rat race. Every day I was on the hamster wheel. I'm like, how do I get off of this thing? I was sick and tired of making someone else's dreams their reality instead of my own dreams my reality. So I don't like feeling stuck, and I felt stuck. And I don't know, so many days would go by and I would get so much more done than the guy next to me. And I didn't think it was fair that we were getting paid the same. And I also didn't think it was fair that I would never, have enough money to like live the life that I wanted to live. I'm like, so I took control. I grabbed life by the horns and I said, you know what? I'm going to control my own destiny. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to, get out of this safe, stable job. I hate safe, stable. I really do. And it's like everyone's like, oh, but it's you're secure. I don't like that. I like risk. I like gambling. I like going to the casino. I like having fun. Not over gamble. I'm not betting my mortgage. But I like the thrill. I like the hunt of just life in general and sales. I'm very passionate about sales. So I don't know. It's like my whole life, and I'm always going to be on to the next thing. And I hate sitting still. So I guess the answer is all the time.
I love
Yeah.
it. You said that this book is part memoir and part playbook. Why that format and who did you write it for?
So I wrote it for people that feel stuck, people that want to work and get more done in a day than they're currently doing. I want to have hustlers read this book. If you're sitting home and you're playing Candy Crush and you're unemployed, this book is probably not for you.
Right.
Um, this book is for people, I'd say, that are currently making between 50 grand and 200 grand a year, and they want to double or triple or 10x what they're currently making. It kind of just gives you the mindset needed. And I talk about the hustle framework that I built into my book, and each letter stands for something. And it kind of has you, it gives you gas in your tank so you could get out there and am I allowed to curse on your show? Okay,
Sure.
and get shit done. That's what it comes down to. You got to get shit done. If you go out there and you're just spinning your wheels and you're not, yeah, you're working hard, but are you actually getting anything done? Just do something and don't get stuck in perfection paralysis. Don't be afraid to look stupid or silly. It's going to happen. But if you're not doing that and you're not putting yourself out there, then you're playing it safe. And this world is going to just eat you up alive and you're never going to grow. So
Right.
water yourself, get some sunshine, and just let yourself grow.
I love that answer. And it's so true. People get stuck and they look for, a lot of people I've spoken to look for perfection. Nothing in life is perfect. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have your ups and downs, but that's how we learn. That's how we grow. That's how we get better.
Hmm. Yeah, you think Elon Musk built a rocket on his first go ahead? I don't think so, right? But like you only lose if you quit. That's it. If you promise yourself that you're going to do something, the only reason you won't do it is because you gave up and you quit. I don't
Yeah.
care what it is. If you say tomorrow, I'm going to learn how to do brain surgery. You will
Right.
learn how to do brain surgery unless you stop trying to teach yourself how to do brain surgery. And that goes for anything. So,
Yes.
and you may not be the best at it at first. Of course, you're gonna, ruin a bunch of brains on your first few go aheads. But after a while, you'll know where to connect the right neurons and you'll be making $1 million a year as a brain surgeon, So just go figure out, go learn something new and become better at something every day, 1% better. That's what it is. And live by the FIO method, FIO, figure it out. And don't get stuck and just keep going and be happy, be positive, enjoy the journey, ride the wave and live life because we're not promised tomorrow.
Exactly. And I think people forget that. They expect to live this long life, but you never know what the next day may bring. So you got to do your best and be your best every single day. And you can't expect things to come to you. If you really want something bad, you have to go out and get it.
Yeah, you have to go out and get. What do you think? Opportunity's going to come and knock on your door, Stacy? Hell no. Stacy's got to go out there and be like, "Hey, who's got my money?" And you got to figure out. You got to say, "Hey, they got my money." And then you got to go out there and you got to get it. You got to get
Ex-
your money. You got to get it. So,
That's true.
but it really is true though. Like I know I sound like a nut job right now, and the people next to me are like, "What the hell is this guy talking about?" But whatever. You got to have fun and you just have to go out there, do stuff and don't think about doing stuff. Just actually do stuff. Like I like to simplify things. Like, and I like to say this. It's imperfect action trumps no action 100% of the time.
Right. And I agree with you. When, people think that, I can't tell how many people I talk to and they think that everything's supposed to come to them, but if you're not going to go out there, if you're not going to give it your all, if you're not going to show people why you're the one or your business is the business that's going to make a difference in their lives, they're not going to invest in you. They're not going to want to, have a business relationship with you. You really got to put yourself out there.
I mean, would you want to be in business with someone that just talks a lot or someone that actually does a lot?
Exactly. And that's the key. That's the key for sure. Now, you define no ceiling in practical terms. What does that look like on a Tuesday afternoon?
On a Tuesday afternoon, no ceiling. It could be a financial ceiling, it could be a mental ceiling, it could be a spiritual ceiling, it could be an emotional ceiling. A ceiling is wherever you are currently stuck in your life as of right now, as of today.
Right. Now, are the first three moves that you have stuck listeners make in the next 24 hours?
Okay, that's a good one. The first three moves. Damn, usually people ask me for the first move. Uh, yeah, so you're making me turn all my brain neurons on here. All right, let's think. All right, first move is come up with a plan. Okay, so you got to think. There's an amazing book by Patrick Bet David called Your Next Five Moves. Your
Okay.
listeners should hit pause right now, go on Amazonian, buy that for like 20 bucks. Thank me later. If you hate it, you got a 30-day return policy. Send that shit back. Um, So you're not going to hate it though, because it teaches you to always think 5 steps ahead. Okay. The next thing you got to do is execute. So the first step is plan. Second step is execute. Third step is follow up. So you have to follow up. Whatever you're doing, you have to follow up. I don't care what business you're in. I don't care if you're in sales. I don't care if you're in finance. I don't care if you got an office job. You always have to follow up. Hey, did you get this? Did you? Yeah, and people are not just going to automatically follow up with you. So if you're not following up, you're not getting anything done.
Exactly. That's a great answer. Now, you scaled a business that processes over 1 billion. What systems or sale habits were true that made a difference?
Finding the right partner. Finding the right partner is key in whatever business you're in because you got to find someone who's good at what you're not. You're not going to
Yeah.
be good at everything. You're not going to want to do everything that is involved with running a business. So don't find someone that you get along with great. Don't find someone that is good at what you're good at. Find someone that, yes, you get along with, but they're good at the things you're maybe weak at or the things you don't want to do.
It's so true. Because, a lot of people try to take on everything themselves, and that's one of the biggest mistakes I see. You really have to, realize that you can't do everything yourself, and that, like you said, you're not going to be good at everything. There are some things that people can do much better than you, and don't take it to heart. It's actually a good thing because you want everything to look like a Class A job. And so people who know how to, do what you're not good at will help, make things better and help grow your business.
Look, the thing is this, like running a business is not for everyone, right? And I always say from the day I started, doing everything, I don't want to be Elon Musk. I don't want to be in a private jet on Christmas, closing deals. I want to be home with my family, right? So it's all about setting realistic expectations and not over setting like, don't look at your life and compare it to others because you're going to be miserable 100% of the time.
Yes, that's a great answer. Now, what's the number one excuse for high achievers tell themselves, and how do you dismantle it?
I've realized that the more successful you are is strictly due to one, how much stress you could handle, but two, how much responsibility you take for everything, whether it's your quote unquote fault or not. I always say try to there's a famous saying out there. It goes, don't find fault, find remedy. So
Yeah,
it doesn't matter that, that there's tariffs. It doesn't matter that Trump is the president. It doesn't matter like all these things. And I don't care what side of the political fence you're on. None of that crap matters. What matters is what you do, what you get done in a day. So
exactly.
if bad stuff happens, if you just take ownership and responsibility for it, then you're going to succeed 1,000 times over.
I agree with you. I agree with you totally. Now, when you were broke and burnt out, what tiny habit did you create that made traction and helped you get to the level of success that you're at today?
Yeah, so I would just say the level of commitment. I just kind of tend to become obsessed with things and not really stopping until I feel like I like exhausted every possible thing out of whatever I'm committed to currently doing in that moment. So
Yeah.
I decided to make it my mission for 6 months to learn as much as I could about, the industry I'm in now. And then I went out there and I closed my tailor, who's still a client today, and I became obsessed with, I had laser vision and I became focused on that specific new idea in my head to create this business or whatever. And it's just like becoming disgustingly obsessed with whatever you want to whatever you want to do. You can't just dip your toe in the water. If you're like, hey, you know what, I want to start my own podcast, right? You can't
Right.
just be like, oh, I'm only going to do it 2 hours a week and I'll see how it goes. Hell no. How many hours a week do you spend running this show? It's probably insane, right? So, but you do it because you enjoy it, because you love it.
Yeah.
So whatever you're doing, you have to enjoy, you have to love, and you have to be willing to invest the time necessary to nurture it so that way it could grow.
Yeah, 100%. I think sometimes people see the front end and it looks so easy on the front end, but when you're in any type of business, there's a lot of hours, work, commitment that goes into it, and that's how people get where they are, and that's how people succeed. Is that level of commitment and not giving up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure some of your viewers have watched the HGTV shows, right? When it's like, hey, come with us while we flip this house. And within 30 minutes, they show you from taking a dilapidated, defunct house, they turn it into $1 million renovation. They don't talk about all the challenges. And yeah, you get little quick, brief highlight reels, but that probably took over a year to do. There was probably
That,
so much stress on the people that invested the money and the time. and
Right.
they just make it look so easy, and it's never as easy as it looks ever. People glorify things, so you got to realize that you're going to fall off the horse, you're going to get knocked down. The question is, are you going to get back up?
Exactly. Exactly. Now, how do you help someone replace fear of failure with reps and results?
So you got to get rid of shame. You got to stop caring, and you have to cut out the noise and stop caring what other people think about you. I mean, right now, if I don't know, like if you dared me to go out and ring someone's doorbell just for fun and then run away, I'd probably do it just because it's fun, right? Like, and I don't have shame. And if I got caught, I'd be like, oh, I'm 35 years old doing ding dong dish. It's kind of stupid, I know, but Stacy dared me to do it, so I had to do it. But whatever. So it's all about that like the just the care has to go out the window. And I'm not saying go out and run out with, your underwear on. I'm just saying go out there and do things and don't care what other people think about you, because there's what, 8 billion people in the world. I mean, there's going to be millions of people that don't like you for whatever reason. So as a chef, you could put out the same dish to 100 people, and some of those people are not going to like the dish, but it's the same exact dish. So you
Right.
got to realize you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. So
Yeah.
just say screw it and just own who you are.
I think that's an excellent answer. I think a lot of times people take things too personally, especially when they first start a business. They take things too personally. They take rejection personally. And
Mhm.
you know what? Like you said, not everyone is going to be that person. Not everyone is going to be that cup of tea for, everybody's different. Everybody's going to, have a different type of personality. And just because they say no or something, it's not for me, doesn't mean that your product or your service is bad. It's just not right for that individual. And don't take things personally. Don't feel like you're rejected and get
Right.
over that.
It's their loss that they're not going with you.
Exactly.
There's a
100%.
there's another great book by Oren Klaff called Flip the Script, and it's all about shifting your mindset into realizing that you're actually the prize. And
Yeah.
if you're in sales, it's like it's the opposite of what you're thinking. And everyone in sales when they first start is like a product pusher. Oh, I got to talk about all the features and the benefits and this and that. And then you
Yeah.
read this book and it's like, wait, you're kind of making the client or potential client or customer like be drawn to you. And it's almost like it's weird, this mental game. And like, I remember when I first read the book, I mentioned to my wife, I was like, yo, Liz, I was like, I read this cool book. It's about like realizing that you're the prize. And she's like, yeah, I've been living my life like that my entire life. And I'm like, oh, that's how you sold me. I love that.
I like that. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, a 30-day game plan for the book milestone for like day 1, day 7, day 14, day 30.
What, as far as like the readers, if they read the book?
Yeah, like what's what kind of game plan do you is in store for them?
So, that's a good idea. I would say when you're done reading the book, I hope you just feel inspired enough to take action in whatever you feel like doing while you're in this season of life.
Right.
I didn't come up with a 7 day or a 30-day game plan. But I did come up with a fun, bunch of quizzes and tests at the end of the book that kind of test who you are, emotionally and things like that, and where your skills are as far as like sales is concerned and follow-up game is concerned. But yeah, I mean the book is just out there to just get you off this swinging, seesaw, pendulum, whatever you want to call it, just so you could commit to something and just
Right.
go out there and own it.
I love that. I love that. Now, what's a common productivity trap that you see, and why is there a simple fix to it?
Yeah, so all right, picture a restaurant. It's Friday night. The owner of the business is running food from the kitchen to the tables.
Hmm.
What is he doing? He's working in the business. He's not working on the business.
Yeah.
So instead of paying someone another 25 bucks an hour or whatever it is to run the food, 20 bucks an hour or whatever, he is doing it himself because he thinks he's probably saving money on staff. Instead, that business owner should zoom out, look at the macro instead of the micro. He should be
Yeah.
looking, scoping out where he's going to be opening his next location, or thinking, hey, how can I advertise to my existing 500 customers that I have their phone numbers for, and I want to send a text out. And in 1 week, I could generate an extra $2,000 in profit.
Yeah.
So it's an extra 90 grand a year in sales. So it's like, if you think it's small, you're not going to grow big, right? So you got to zoom out instead of zooming in and work on the business instead of in the business.
Yeah, and I see that a lot of times. I see the people trying to do everything. And because of that, they're not able to really focus on growth and profiting because they're trying to do every little thing. And if they just gave some of that responsibility to other people, they could be working on the big stuff and actually growing a lot quicker.
Yeah, and delegating is hard, especially when you care a lot, because when you have someone else do it, what's going to happen? It's not going to go perfect. It's not going to get done the way that you want it done, right? But
Exactly.
you're never going to grow. You're always going to be tied to that one business. I mean, I work with a ton of small businesses, and 90% of them only have one location.
Yeah.
The people that have more than one location, they don't have two. They sometimes have more than 30. So
Yeah.
when you shift your mindset from, hey, I need to work on this one thing at this one time, and then when I'm done, I have to go to the, and you get crazy. There's a million ways to spend your time, but are you spending your time efficiently is what you really need to ask yourself.
Yes, 100%. And delegating is very hard for a lot of people. I see that all the time. They're like, I hear the excuse, well, if I give it to somebody else, they're not going to do it as good as me. I'm not going to get the results that that I'm getting, or they need
And
me.
it's true. It's good as well as you 1,000% because it's the beginning, right? 1,000%, like you said. So over time, after a few months of training them, they're going to do it maybe as good as you. Okay. But if not, guess what? They're doing it 80%, or they're doing it 80, maybe 90%. Or guess what? If they're intelligent and if you made the right hire, they're doing it better than you.
Yeah,
So you got to realize in the beginning, training someone is going to slow you down, but in the long run, it's going to speed you up.
100%. Yeah, that's so true. Now, your favorite sales script opener for creators or founders who hate selling, what is it?
Sorry, say that question again.
So, what's your favorite sales script for openers for people who hate selling?
My favorite sales script for people that hate selling. I would say stop thinking of selling like I would say you have to shift your thinking from, hey, what can I sell this person to how can I help this person?
Exactly. Yeah,
And realize that you may not be able to help every person, and that's fine. But if you're asking the right questions and you think of yourself like a problem solver instead of a salesperson, then you're going to
yeah.
get so much further.
Oh, 100%. I agree with you. I think that's a lot of times that's the problem is that people, they, instead of just trying to solve the problem or trying to connect with the person, they're trying to focus too much time on trying to sell the product, and that gets them in trouble.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, the client isn't buying the product, they're buying the salesperson because they know them, they trust them, and they want the results. They don't care about the features.
Exactly, exactly. Now, what surprised you the most about writing and releasing your debut book, and how did you keep the momentum?
Yeah, so I got hit with an Instagram ad. It was like, hey, do you have a crazy story? Do you want to share it with others? Click here. So I clicked there. I booked this 4 hour Zoom with this company, and they made me laugh. They made me cry. They pulled out every emotion under the sun. And at the end of the Zoom, a few days later, they sent me back suggested chapter titles and paragraphs. And obviously I changed a bunch of it, but it was what I needed to get started. And,
Right.
I decided to give it a shot. A month or two goes by. I thought I was good. I looked down and I'm like, how do I only have 12 pages? So writing a book is hard. And then I was able to you know, pull out more get cobwebs out of my brain and put things on paper that I think people are really enjoying. And we're 6 weeks in. My goal is to sell 1,000 copies. We're on pace to hit it. I think we'll hit it in another 30 to maybe 45 days. And take it from there. I mean, it's hard. Writing a book is not easy. I thought it would have been a lot easier than what it was, but it's really rewarding. And once it's done, right? So it's like, and it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. If people are thinking about writing a book, I think they should. I mean, what do you have to worry about? Like I said, stop caring what other people think and just do something, even if it sucks.
Exactly. You know what? The next time you do it, it'll get better and better and better. And that's what
Yeah.
usually happens. Yeah,
Well,
the best writers never, they're, if they look back on their books, they'll tell you, oh my God, the books in the beginning sucked, and then and as time went on, they became best-selling authors.
yeah. Yeah. Maybe one day we'll get there. Probably not on this book, but who knows?
You might. You surprise yourself. It's not as hard as you think. It just takes time and practice, but writing a book is very hard. It could be very draining, but it's a
Yeah.
great accomplishment.
Yeah,
Definitely is.
I appreciate it. And I was gonna make the book $1,000, but I thought it might be a little expensive. So it's only $20. And like I said, it's on my website at www.noceilingnoexcuses.com.
I love it. Now, if a listener wants an audiobook, are they able to get an audiobook?
Yes, and unfortunately it's not my voice. But no, I'm just joking. I actually hired a really, really good speaker, and this guy's great, man. He sounds like he did the trailer for like the next Tom Cruise movie. This guy is he crushed it. And
I,
a little funny story is right before I released the book, one of the chapter titles is called Beauty in a Blank Slate.
mhm.
And I love alliteration. So like I'm like the double B's, the beauty in a blank slate. I'm like I love it. So I couldn't wait to hear him say it because his voice was just so good. So like it's the last chapter, it's chapter 13. And I was listening to the whole book and I got up to chapter 13 and this is the first draft that I heard from him and everything else was great. And he goes, chapter 13, beauty in a blanket. And I'm like, beauty in a blanket. He butchered my favorite chapter title, so I had to email him back. I was like, yo, you got to fix that or whatever. And he fixed it. But it was just so funny because I was so amped for it and he just like dropped the ball.
I love that. I love that. Now, tell us a little about your services and the things that you provide.
Yeah, so for all the small businesses out there, if you guys take payments, I could probably help you either reduce the fees that you're paying to take those, credit cards. If you're not currently accepting credit cards and you want to, and you're going to do at least $10,000 a month in cards, reach out to me. I'll be able to set you up. If you're a business that wants a point of sale system, or maybe the one you're with isn't working out for you for whatever reason, maybe you have no support, or it's too expensive, or it's not doing things that you want to do, reach out to me. I could get pretty much any system out there, which is great. I'm more of like a broker than I am a specific, hey, I only sell this system type of thing. So
Right.
I could usually help most businesses out there, which is awesome.
I love that. I love that. And tell us again where people can find your book.
Yep, it's right on the website at www.noceilingnoexcuses.com. Feel free to spell ceiling wrong. Feel free to leave the S off. I bought every domain possible. Just try to spell it and you'll get there, I promise.
Love it. I love it. And also, from today's conversation, if you had to emphasize on a couple important factors, what are some of the things you'd like people to walk away with today?
Yeah, so I hope that people realize that you don't have to be amazing at something to do something. And I hope that people just stop kind of what others think about them so much and don't live in a fake persona. Just be yourself, and you're gonna be so much happier in this life.
I agree with you completely. This has been amazing. The stuff you talked about today was really powerful stuff. And I think, people really need to, just open their eyes and get over their faiths, their fears and really focus on what they really want in life and go after it. Because everybody, can have anything they want. They just have to, kind of look at things and really focus on how can I get it? What do I need to do in order to get it. But if people like break through those fear barriers and they go after what they truly want in life, not only will they be so much happier, but they'll have a fulfilling, accomplished life. Because in my eyes, just like I think Disney said, all your dreams can become a reality if you really work hard at it and you make it your goal and your intention.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Well, I thank you so much for coming on the show. Is there anything else that you'd like to add to the conversation before we go?
Yeah, as soon as your people are done with this podcast, whatever you're currently thinking about doing, I want you to actually do it.
I love that. I love that. So today, I just want to say thank you. You've been great. I really enjoyed our conversation. I hope you'll come back on the show. And, if you like this episode, please feel free to follow us and to subscribe to us so you can hear more beautiful episodes and different ways to really balance out your life and improve your overall, prosperity in your life. So thank you so much for listening. And thank you so much, Chris, for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Stacey. This was great.
Have a great day.